Hey whale watchers, welcome back to another shake and share video. First things first, it's time to celebrate 400. I don't have any champagne, but you know what goes with champagne? Strawberries. So let's go with some strawberry shakes. Unfortunately, there's a full frozen strawberry in there, so this is going to be fun chugging. Should have blended it just a little bit more. But yes, finally, this tank is 400 pounds. Big 400, and I'm loving it. Sure, it's just a number. What's the difference between 399 on the scale and 400? Sure, still both fucking massive. But there's just something about that new first digit. I know some are going to ask, what's next? Originally, I thought about the idea of pushing for 409 before pausing. 409 would be 100 pounds gained just in 2021 alone. But you know what? Like 90 pounds, or in this case, 91 pounds gained in 4.5 months. That's still fucking averaging 20 pounds a month. That's good. If I don't make 409, in the near future, so be it. I do need to adjust to some of this weight. I do need to, regain some of the ability to walk that the pandemic has taken from me. I don't know, some of you are saying, oh no, it was the fat that took it from me. No, I mean, I used to be, big before and could still walk everywhere. But then a year of not doing that for the pandemic really killed that, so. Yeah, look at this guy. Look at how big it is. Look at all that chub. All right. So the other topic that I want to sort of talk about today, I get this question a lot, is sort of the overlap between, gaining and some of the other gay subcultures. Very specifically, usually the questions are around the bear community and the leather community. So, I was thinking about this, I'm dripping all over myself. And originally, my thought was, that part of the reason why I really didn't, well, even though I'm a gainer and I'm gay and I'm fat, why didn't I feel like I was part of the bear community, right? And then with gaining and encouraging, there can be shades of, dom sub, in the gainer and encourager roles. And, why did I never really, sort of feed into that? And originally I thought it, I sort of thought it was around, me struggling with my, gray ace status, right? To me, my experience of the bear community, whether, so here locally, whether it's bear happy hours or when, you hear people talk about bear events, and then the same thing with leather, whether it's MAL here, or other leather events, they are highly sexualized, right? This sort of is a thing in gay culture where when we come together to celebrate us, it often is, you hear this about pride, right? That, oh, why does it have to be half-naked boys dancing on a float? No, like, it's because, sex is so intrinsic in our nature that when we, come together to celebrate that nature, it gets elevated as well. So to me, I sort of was like, oh, like my experience is always, these very, hyper-sexualized experiences of it, and that must be, you know, why, you know, I don't really feel like I fit in, right? Yeah, like, well, I don't feel like I fit in as a bear because I don't really feel sexual. You know, so, you know, and then why don't I, you know, why don't I feel comfortable, you know, dabbling in leather and whatnot? Like, you know, in my smaller days, I did, you know, like you know, I did the gay thing. I got a harness, you know, but I just never, you know, it felt, you know, it felt like a costume I was putting on, and not one that I felt comfortable in, you know. So again, you know, my original thoughts on it were, oh, you know, it's this sexual thing. But, you know, as I thought more about it, I think it really boils down into, you know, into two different things, right? I think that, you know, I think part of it is true, right? And I think maybe now, you know, now that I've sort of understood and come to terms with, you know, my gray asexuality status, I think I'd be better able to navigate those spaces. But I think it's also just, you know, I've always struggled, to, you know, to make friends, to feel like I fit in a community, right? Into a group, like, especially a pre-existing group, whether, you know, so like, you know, growing up, you know, I grew up in, you know, a small town. I grew up with the same, you know, pretty much seeing the same people from, you know, preschool to high school, right? You know, even groups that you might join and do other things like scouting, you were doing scouting with the same people you were doing school with. You know, you were doing theater with the same people you were doing theater with, right? So, like, I never, you know, and then I sort of, you know, I went off to college, but I didn't stay at college for the full experience. And I don't think I ever really learned how, you know, I think in college you start to maybe learn that ability to, like, you know, join diverse groups, right? You know, and make your way in, right? You know, I mean, I had friends, you know, again, I'm not saying I was like some sort of recluse in college. No, like, I had friends, but, you know, again, they were friends of circumstance and then connection from there, right? It was the people, you know, I was friends with my, you know, my college roommate, and then, you know, he was much more outgoing, and so I became friends with people that he befriended. You know, then when I left, I started working on the Hill. You know, I became friends with my colleagues in that, you know, we all had stressful, low-paying jobs, and we needed to blow steam off. So we would go out, you know, and we would, you know, find every happy hour special that there was, you know, around the Hill. You know, and then later, you know, again, I would make friends, but it was always hard to break into groups, right? You know, for a while, you know, my friends and I were part of a gay kickball league. They had a much easier time befriending other teams than I did, right? Like, I was friends with the team, you know, but other people on other teams, you know, I tended to shy away from. So I think that just, you know, and then you add in that, you know, I didn't like my fat for much of my, you know, 20s and 30s. You know, I wasn't about to run to join a bear community, right? Like, you know, I was not happy that I was, you know, that I was fat. And even, I would say with gaining, it's like, I'm a member of a site, sorry, my mustache is trapping quite a lot of the shake. I'm a member of a site, and yes, I know people there, but it wasn't really until I decided that, I wanted to travel, right, and combine the two, right, combine travel with gaining, that I really met some people and, feel a bit more part of the community, right? But I still don't, I still am surprised by how much attention these videos get and how many comments, positive comments I get, right? I don't feel, I don't know, I don't, it's like somehow I became part of a community and I didn't realize, I don't know, but yeah, so, I have nothing, against the bear community, right? I mean, well, I should say I have like minor things with the bear community, right? Like here, the bear happy hours, obviously in the before times, they tended to be, a little less bearish and a little more, hairy muscle, and so it just sort of felt like, it was it was a bunch of people who sort of fit the collection, but really, they were there for the cheap beer deal, right? The pitcher of beer for X number of dollars, which sadly, as much as, a gainer would love it, I don't like beer. I don't know why, I just don't. There's a number of things that, like, I'd be so much fatter if I like peanut butter, forget it. Like, I would be, all of your dreams of me being an 800-pound, mobile chub, like, if I like peanut butter, it's so much easier. But I'm a hard liquor guy. And I've got, well, pre-pandemic I had a tolerance. We'll see if I still have it after the pandemic. But yeah, so, I think it's just, aside from, say, the bear happy hours and whatnot, I just didn't feel like there was much, there wasn't a community I related to, I mean, the joke was, going back to that gay kickball league, right? So mind you, when I was in the gay kickball league, I was the heaviest guy on the team, and this was before I was gaining, right? So we're talking, this is when I was, down in the low, the, like, 190 to the low, like, maybe probably up to, like, 240 or something like that. And, I remember distinctly, like, we were jokingly the bear team, right? And, I want to say I had an XL t-shirt, and there was a girl on the team who had an XL t-shirt, and then, like, everybody else on the team was, like, extra small, medium, like, and it was just, like, how the fuck are we the bear team, when there's, like, this, right? And so it just, I don't know, like, it just became, it just became something that just wasn't for me, right? And, as I said, like, nothing against them, it's just not what you'll never see me in, sort of the bear pride flag colors. You'll never see a bear claw tattoo on me or anything like that. That's just not, that's just not me. Like, and that's sort of why I adopted the sort of, the whale motif, is just to, sort of break out of those options, right? And especially in the, in the gaining community, then there's even, pig and hog, and, those aren't me either. So I don't know. Anyway, I hope this answered the question. I definitely, you know, as I said, I don't hold any, you know, I wouldn't say like I'll never go to a bear event, right? You know, like if, but if there's a choice between, you know, doing something, you know, gaining related, versus, you know, a bear thing, I'm going to go with the gaining one first, so. Look at all that. All right, that's it for this shake and share. Hope you enjoyed it. If not, give me some more questions and I'll try and answer those.